I stood in my childhood home's driveway on Thanksgiving Day. Through the window, I saw my entire extended family laughing at the dinner table. My younger brother Jason spotted me outside and mouthed "go away" while making a shooing gesture. Their mother turned, saw me, and deliberately closed the curtains. This was the fifth family event in 2 years where I'd been explicitly told not to come. I drove 3 hours from Seattle. My fiancée Sarah waited in the car, witnessing everything. This time, something inside me broke permanently. I walked back to the car and climbed into the driver's seat. My hands were shaking. Sarah reached over and squeezed my hand, tears running down her cheeks. She wasn't crying for herself. She was crying because she'd just watched my family treat me like I was invisible, like I was nothing. "Danny, I'm so sorry," she whispered. I couldn't speak. My throat felt tight, like someone had their hands wrapped around it. I started the engine and pulled away from that house, watching it disappear in the rearview mirror. Sarah didn't ask if I was okay. She knew I wasn't. We drove in silence for about 20 minutes before I finally found my voice. "I need to explain something to you," I said. "I need to tell you how this all started." Sarah nodded, staying quiet, letting me talk. 2 years ago, my father died. He had cancer. Stage 4, pancreatic cancer. The doctors gave him 6 months, and he lived for exactly 8 months and 3 days. I paused, swallowing hard. During those 8 months, I drove down from Seattle every single weekend. Every Friday after work, I'd make the 3-hour drive to be with him. I'd stay through Sunday evening, then drive back Sunday night to make it to work Monday morning. "I remember," Sarah said softly. "You were exhausted. All the time. I was the only one who showed up," I continued. "Jason lived 30 minutes away from Dad, and he visited maybe 4 times in 8 months. Amanda lived in the same town, 15 minutes away, and she came by twice. Mom was there, but she barely spoke to Dad toward the end. I was the one who sat with him. I was the one who helped him to the bathroom when he was too weak to walk. I was the one who held the bucket when he threw up from the chemo. I was the one who was there when he cried at 3 in the morning because he was scared. I had to stop. The memories were crushing me. When Dad died, we found out he'd left a will. He left me $45,000. Just to me. Not split between the 3 of us. Just me." I glanced at Sarah. It wasn't because I asked for it. It wasn't because I manipulated him. It was because I was there. He wrote in the will that I was the only one who showed him love in his final days, and he wanted me to have something to remember that he saw me, that he appreciated me. "That's beautiful," Sarah said. "My family didn't think so. Mom called me 2 days after the funeral. She said I'd manipulated a dying man. She said I'd poisoned Dad against the rest of them. She said I was greedy and selfish. Jason sent me a text calling me a vulture. Amanda posted on Facebook about family members who take advantage of elderly relatives, and everyone knew she was talking about me. I pulled onto the highway, heading back toward Seattle. That was when it started. Mom told me not to come to Christmas that year. She said everyone was too upset to see me. I thought she just needed time, so I stayed away. Then Jason's son had a baptism in February. I wasn't invited. I texted Jason asking if I'd done something wrong, and he replied, "You know what you did. Don't play innocent." Sarah was crying again, quietly. Then it was Mom's birthday in April. I found out about her party from Facebook photos. Everyone was there except me. When I called Mom to ask why she hadn't told me about it, she said, "I didn't think you'd want to come since you're not really part of this family anymore." I recounted each exclusion, each rejection. Amanda's promotion celebration, where I was told I'd make everyone uncomfortable. Jason's anniversary dinner, where Mom called to say it was better if I stayed away. Every holiday, every birthday, every family gathering for 2 solid years. Always the same message. "You're not welcome." I kept trying, I said. I sent cards. I sent gifts. I called. I apologized even though I had nothing to apologize for. I even offered to give the money back. Amanda said it was too late for that, that I'd already shown my true colors. We drove for another hour, neither of us speaking. When we finally crossed into Seattle city limits, Sarah said something that changed everything. "Marry me." I looked at her, confused. "We're already engaged." "No, I mean really marry me. Soon. In 3 months. Let's set a date and do it." She turned in her seat to face me. "And Danny, don't invite them. Not a single one of them." I felt something twist in my chest. "Sarah, I can't do that. They're my family." "Are they?" Her voice was gentle but firm. "Because families don't close curtains on each other. Families don't exclude each other from every celebration for 2 years. Families don't call you a vulture for taking care of your dying father. But if I don't invite them to the wedding, they'll never forgive me. It'll be permanent." Sarah reached over and took my hand again. "Danny, it's already permanent. They've made that clear. You've been hoping that someday they'll change their minds, that someday they'll realize they were wrong. But it's been 2 years. They're not going to change. They're going to keep hurting you for as long as you let them." I pulled into our apartment complex and parked. We sat there in the car, engine off, streetlights casting shadows across Sarah's face. "Why should they get to celebrate our happiness," Sarah continued, "when they've spent 2 years trying to destroy yours? Why should they get to be part of the best day of our lives, when they've made sure you're not part of any of theirs?" Something shifted inside me. For 2 years, I'd been trying to earn back their love. I'd been trying to prove I wasn't the monster they said I was. But Sarah was right. Nothing I did would ever be enough. "Okay," I said quietly. "Let's do it. Let's get married in 3 months. And we won't invite them." Sarah leaned over and kissed me. "I love you. And I'm so sorry you've had to go through this." "I love you too." We went inside and started planning immediately. Sarah pulled out her laptop, and we began looking at venues. We decided on a date, March 15th, exactly 3 months away. We found a beautiful restored barn in Snohomish County, about 45 minutes north of Seattle. It could hold 120 guests and overlooked rolling hills and evergreen forests. It was perfect. We started creating our guest list. Sarah's parents, her 3 siblings, her aunts and uncles and cousins, about 50 people from her side, my college friends, my work friends, my father's best friend Tom and his wife, about 30 people who'd stood by me, Sarah's teaching colleagues and friends, another 20 people. We'd have around 100 guests. Not a single person from my immediate family would be on that list. As I typed out names and addresses, I felt something I hadn't felt in 2 years. It wasn't quite happiness. It wasn't quite peace. It was defiance. It was the first spark of fighting back. "Are you sure about this?" I asked Sarah one more time. "I've never been more sure of anything," she said. "They closed the door on you, Danny. You don't owe them anything. Not even a wedding invitation." I nodded and saved the guest list. My mother, my brother, my sister. None of them would get to see me marry the woman I loved. And for the first time, that felt right. The next 3 months should have been the happiest of my life. We booked the barn venue with a deposit of $1,200. We hired a photographer, a talented woman named Emily, who'd done Sarah's cousin's wedding. $700 for 8 hours of coverage. We chose a florist, a caterer, a DJ. We tasted cakes and picked songs and designed invitations. We told all our guests one thing: please don't post about this on social media. We wanted to keep the wedding quiet, intimate, just for the people who truly cared about us. What we really meant was we didn't want my family finding out. Sarah's parents were incredibly supportive. Her father, Robert, pulled me aside one evening when we were over for dinner. "Danny, I want you to know something. You're already my son, not son-in-law, son. And what your family has done to you is unforgivable. You don't owe them anything." I almost cried right there at their dinner table. The planning went smoothly for the first 6 weeks. We were down to about 6 weeks before the wedding when everything fell apart. I was at a coffee shop in downtown Seattle on a Tuesday afternoon. I'd taken a half-day off work to meet with the caterer about final menu choices. I was sitting at a small table, reviewing the contract, when I heard a voice behind me. "Danny?" I turned around, and my stomach dropped. Amanda, my sister, standing there with a coffee in her hand, staring at me like she'd seen a ghost. "Amanda." "Hi." My voice came out strangled. "What are you doing here?" She didn't sound angry. She sounded confused, almost tentative. "Just having coffee. Working on some stuff." She glanced at the papers on my table. I tried to cover them, but I wasn't fast enough. She saw the catering company logo on the top page. "Are you planning an event?" she asked. I should have lied. I should have said it was a work thing, a conference, anything. But I was so tired of lying, so tired of hiding. And maybe part of me wanted her to know. "I'm getting married," I said. Amanda's face went through several expressions in rapid succession. Surprise, confusion, and then something harder. "When?" "March 15th. That's 6 weeks away." "Yes. Were you going to tell us?" I looked at her directly. "No, I wasn't." She set her coffee down on the table next to mine. "What do you mean you weren't?" "I mean I'm not inviting you. I'm not inviting Mom. I'm not inviting Jason. You've all made it very clear. I'm not part of the family anymore. So you're not part of this." Amanda's face went pale, then flushed red. "You can't be serious." "I'm completely serious. Danny, Mom will be devastated. Like I was devastated when she closed the curtain on me at Thanksgiving. Like I was devastated when you all excluded me from every single family event for 2 years. That's different." "How is it different?" "You stole from Dad." I stood up, gathering my papers. "I didn't steal anything. Dad left me that money because I was the only one who cared for him when he was dying. Because I was there every single weekend, while you visited twice. Because I loved him, and he knew it. You manipulated him. I took care of him. There's a difference." Amanda grabbed my arm as I tried to leave. "Mom is going to hear about this. I'm sure she is. You're going to regret this." I pulled my arm free. "The only thing I regret is spending 2 years trying to win back people who never loved me in the first place." I left the coffee shop, hands shaking, heart pounding. I got into my car and called Sarah. "She knows," I said as soon as Sarah answered. "Amanda knows about the wedding." "How?" "I ran into her. I told her." "Oh, Danny." "I know. I'm sorry. I should have lied." "No," Sarah said. "No, you did the right thing. They were going to find out eventually. At least now we know they know. What if they try something? What can they do? The wedding is in 6 weeks. Everything's planned. They can't stop it." I wanted to believe her. But I knew my family. They wouldn't just accept this. Within 2 hours of leaving that coffee shop, my phone exploded. 17 missed calls, 23 text messages, all from Mom, Jason, and Amanda. Mom's voicemail was brutal. "How dare you exclude your own family from your wedding, after everything I've done for you. This is cruel and unforgivable. You call me back right now, Daniel Edward." Jason's text was worse. "You're a selfish piece of garbage." Mom is crying her eyes out. "You've officially proven you never cared about this family." Amanda sent a long message. "I can't believe you'd stoop this low, using your wedding as revenge against us. This just proves we were right about you all along. You're vindictive and cruel." I didn't respond to any of them. Sarah came home from work early, and we sat together on the couch. "Maybe this was a mistake," I said. "Maybe I should just invite them and get it over with." "Danny?" "No. But they're so upset. They've kept you upset for 2 years. They don't get to suddenly claim victim status now." At 11 p.m. that night, someone knocked on our apartment door. Hard, insistent knocking. I looked through the peephole and saw Mom and Amanda standing there. I opened the door. "We need to talk about this wedding situation," Mom said, pushing past me into the apartment. "There's nothing to talk about," I said. "You're not invited. I'm your mother. I have a right to be at my son's wedding. You told me I wasn't welcome at Jason's son's baptism. You closed the curtain on me at Thanksgiving. You've excluded me from every family event for 2 years. Why should my wedding be any different?" Amanda stepped forward. "Because weddings are different. They're about family." "Exactly. And you've made it clear I'm not your family anymore." Mom started crying. Loud, dramatic sobs. "How can you do this to me? I'm your mother. I carried you for 9 months. I raised you. And this is how you repay me?" "Repay you? For what?" "For the last 2 years of telling me I'm not welcome in your life. That was different. You hurt us. I took care of my dying father. That's all I did." Amanda pulled out her phone. "You're using the wedding as a weapon. You're punishing us." "No, I'm protecting myself. There's a difference." They argued with me for another 30 minutes. Mom cried. Amanda accused. I stood firm even though every part of me felt terrible. Finally, Sarah emerged from the bedroom where she'd been hiding. "I think you both need to leave now," Sarah said calmly. Mom turned on her. You're behind this. You turned my son against me. I didn't turn anyone against anyone. Danny made this choice himself, because you gave him no other option." "We'll see about that," Mom said, wiping her tears. "You're going to regret this, Danny. You're going to regret pushing us away." They left, slamming the door behind them. I didn't sleep that night. I kept thinking about Mom's last words. "You're going to regret this." It sounded like a threat. The next morning, I was at work when my assistant brought me a certified letter. My hands shook as I opened it. It was from a law firm. Mom was threatening to sue me for emotional distress and elder abuse for excluding her from the wedding. The letter claimed that by excluding her, I was causing her severe psychological harm. It demanded I either invite the family or face legal action. I sat at my desk, staring at the letter, feeling my world crumble. I'd tried to set a boundary, tried to protect myself, and now I was being threatened with a lawsuit. The problem wasn't solved. It was worse than ever. I took the lawyer's letter to a family law attorney that same afternoon. His name was Gregory, and his office was in a high-rise building downtown. The consultation cost me $350 just to walk through the door. Gregory read the letter and actually laughed. "This is nonsense. You can't sue someone for not inviting you to a wedding. There's no legal standing whatsoever. This is pure intimidation. So they can't actually do anything? They can file the paperwork, but any judge would throw it out immediately. This is a frivolous claim designed to scare you." He leaned back in his chair. "Want me to write a response?" "Yes, please." Gregory drafted a letter, explaining that the claim had no legal merit and that if Mom's lawyer pursued it, we'd countersue for harassment. It cost me another $500, but it felt worth it. Mom's lawyer backed down within 3 days. Crisis averted. I actually felt relief for the first time in weeks. That relief lasted exactly 4 days. On a Thursday morning, 5 weeks before the wedding, I got a call from the barn venue in Snohomish County. "Mr. Anderson, I'm calling about your cancellation," the manager said. "What cancellation?" "We received an email from you yesterday confirming you wanted to cancel your March 15th booking." My blood went cold. "I never sent that email. It came from your email address. You confirmed the cancellation and said we could give the date to the couple on our waiting list." "That wasn't me. Someone hacked my email." "I'm so sorry, Mr. Anderson, but we've already confirmed with the other couple. They've paid their deposit. The date is gone." No. This is fraud. I didn't cancel. I understand. But we have the email. We acted in good faith. I spent the next hour arguing with them, but it was useless. The venue was booked. My date was gone. I lost my $1,200 deposit. I immediately changed all my passwords and ran security scans on my computer. Someone had accessed my email account. I knew exactly who was behind it, but I couldn't prove it. Sarah and I spent that entire evening calling every venue within 50 miles of Seattle. Everything was either booked or insanely expensive on such short notice. Finally, we found a hotel ballroom that had availability. It wasn't as nice as the barn. It was sterile and corporate feeling, and it cost $3,000 more than the barn had cost. We had no choice. We booked it. "I'm so sorry," I told Sarah that night. "This is all my fault." "It's not your fault. Your family is doing this. But I can't prove it." "We'll get through this," she said, but I could see the disappointment in her eyes. She'd loved that barn. The next week, our photographer called. "I'm so sorry, but I received an email from Sarah canceling your booking. I've already booked another wedding for March 15th. "Sarah didn't send that email," I said, my voice dead. "It came from her email address." Another hack. Another deposit lost. $700 gone. I spent another $1,500 to hire a new photographer on short notice, someone who wasn't as experienced but was available. Then the florist called. Same story. Fraudulent cancellation email. Then the caterer reduced our order by half, claiming Sarah had called to say the guest count dropped from 100 to 50. I was hemorrhaging money and sanity. Worse, someone hacked our wedding website and replaced it with embarrassing photos of me from high school. Photos I'd thought were deleted years ago. Me with terrible acne. Me with braces and a bad haircut. Me at a school dance looking awkward and alone. Underneath the photos, cruel text. "Danny the family abandoner is getting married. Don't worry, he doesn't want you there anyway." They hacked mine and Sarah's social media accounts and posted messages uninviting everyone from the wedding. I spent hours on the phone with guests, explaining that the posts weren't real, that they were still invited, that someone was sabotaging us. Some people believed me. Some people sounded skeptical. One friend from college said, "Man, this is a lot of drama. Maybe you should just work things out with your family." I wanted to scream. By the time we were 3 weeks out from the wedding, I'd spent an extra $6,000 fixing problems. I'd lost weight from stress. Sarah was exhausted. We'd spent more time on damage control than on enjoying our engagement. I couldn't take it anymore. I called Jason. "What do you want?" He answered. "I want you to stop." "Stop what?" "You hacked my accounts. You canceled my venue. You've sabotaged everything." Jason laughed. Actually laughed. "I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds like karma to me. Maybe the universe is telling you that cutting out your family is a bad idea. I have proof. I'm going to the police. Go ahead. And if you do, I'll make sure Mom files a restraining order against you for harassment. Good luck explaining to your boss why cops are showing up at your office. Think that'll go over well at your fancy software company?" He hung up. I stood there holding my phone, shaking with rage and helplessness. He had me trapped. If I escalated, he'd make things worse. If I did nothing, the sabotage might continue. That night, Sarah cried for the first time through all of this. Real, broken sobs. "I just wanted one perfect day," she said. "I don't even care about the venue or the flowers anymore. I just want to marry you without this nightmare hanging over us." I held her and felt like the world's biggest failure. I was supposed to protect her, protect our day. Instead, my family was destroying everything. 2 days later, everything got even worse. My boss called me into his office. "Danny, we need to talk. HR received a complaint about you." "What kind of complaint?" "Someone filed an anonymous report claiming you've been emotionally abusing your elderly mother. They included screenshots of text messages where you allegedly threatened your family." I felt dizzy. "Those texts are fake. I never sent them." "I believe you, but HR has to investigate. You understand." For the next 10 days, I endured multiple HR meetings. I brought evidence. The timeline of my family excluding me, my father's will, proof that I'd tried repeatedly to reconcile. I brought witnesses. Tom, my father's best friend, who confirmed everything. My coworkers gossiped. One colleague, a woman named Patricia, who I'd always gotten along with, stopped talking to me completely. She'd heard elder abuse and decided I was guilty. Finally, HR cleared me. The complaint was obviously fabricated, but my name was now in my work file. My reputation was damaged. My boss called me back in. "Danny, you're cleared, but you need to handle your family situation. This cannot happen again. If another complaint comes in, even a false one, it'll look bad for you and for the company." I left his office feeling humiliated and furious. That evening, Sarah's father, Robert, offered to hire a private investigator to trace the hacking. "Robert, that's $2,000. We can't ask you to do that." "You're not asking. I'm offering. Someone needs to hold these people accountable." The PI traced the IP addresses. Every single hacking incident came from Jason's home address. Finally, I had proof. I wanted to go to the police immediately, but the wedding was in 5 days. Any legal action would consume time and energy right before what was supposed to be the happiest day of our lives. I decided to wait, get through the wedding, then deal with them. But 3 days before the wedding, Mom called. Her voice was completely different. Sweet, gentle, conciliatory. "Danny, sweetheart, I've been thinking. I was wrong. We were all wrong." I was immediately suspicious. "What?" "I know I haven't been the mother I should have been. Losing your father made me crazy. I took it out on you, and that was wrong. I'm so sorry." She was crying. It sounded genuine. "Please, Danny, let me come to your wedding. I don't need a special seat. I'll sit in the back. I just want to see my son get married. I promise I won't cause any problems. I just want to be there." My heart softened despite everything. What if this was real? What if she genuinely wanted to fix things? Sarah was across the room, shaking her head frantically, mouthing no. "Mom, I need to think about it. Please, Danny, I'm begging you. Let me make this right. I'll call you back." I hung up. Sarah immediately said, "No, absolutely not. What if she's serious? Danny, she's been tormenting you for 2 years. She filed a fake HR complaint that almost cost you your job. Now, suddenly she's sorry? 3 days before the wedding? Maybe she realizes she went too far. Or maybe she wants access to the wedding so she can ruin it in person." We argued for the first time in our entire relationship. Really argued. "If you invite her, I'll still marry you," Sarah said finally. "But I'll never forgive you if she ruins our day. And if I don't invite her and she really wanted to reconcile, I'll never forgive myself." I called Tom for advice. "Your dad told me something before he died," Tom said. "He said your mother always needed to be the center of attention. He said she'd never forgive you for getting something she couldn't control, meaning the inheritance. He told me she'd try to destroy you for it. Danny, don't let her into your wedding." That hit me hard. My father had predicted this. I didn't call Mom back. 2 days before the wedding, Mom changed tactics. She called the hotel venue, pretending to be Sarah's mother, saying there was a family emergency and the wedding needed to be postponed. The hotel called me to confirm. I straightened it out, but now I was paranoid. I called every vendor, warned them that only Sarah or I could make changes, no matter what anyone else claimed. One day before the wedding, Mom, Jason, and Amanda showed up at my apartment building. They waited in the lobby. The building manager called me. "There are 3 people here claiming to be your family. They say they need to talk to you urgently. Tell them I'm not coming down." Mom shouted from the lobby, loud enough for me to hear through the phone. "Danny, we just want to talk. Please." Other residents complained. The building manager threatened to call police. They finally left, but not before Amanda shouted, "We'll see you tomorrow, whether you like it or not." That night, Sarah and I stayed in separate apartments. Tradition said the groom shouldn't see the bride. I lay awake, terrified. What were they planning? At 2 a.m, I received a text from an unknown number. "You really should have invited us, Danny. Tomorrow's going to be a day you'll never forget." I stared at that text until sunrise, filled with dread. The HR investigation felt like it lasted forever. I sat through 3 separate meetings, each one more humiliating than the last. In the first meeting, they showed me the screenshots of text messages I'd supposedly sent to my mother. "I'm done with you. Stay out of my life. Or else. You're a pathetic old woman. No wonder Dad wanted to leave you. If you contact me again, you'll regret it." I'd never written any of those messages. They were fabricated, probably using editing software. But they looked real enough that HR had to take them seriously. "These aren't from me," I said for the third time. "Someone is framing me." The HR director, a woman named Carol, looked at me with pity. "Danny, we want to believe you, but we have to follow protocol. We're interviewing your colleagues to see if there's any pattern of aggressive behavior." "There isn't. Ask anyone. I've never been aggressive at work." They did ask. Most people defended me. But Patricia, the colleague who'd stopped talking to me, told HR she'd always thought there was something off about Danny. One comment like that was enough to keep the investigation going. I brought evidence to the second meeting. Printouts of the timeline showing how my family had excluded me for 2 years. My father's will, showing that he'd chosen to leave me the inheritance. Emails I'd sent to my mother trying to reconcile, all of them kind and apologetic even though I had nothing to apologize for. Tom came to the third meeting as a character witness. He explained how I'd cared for my father, how devoted I'd been, how the family had turned on me out of spite. Finally, after 10 days that felt like 10 years, HR cleared me. "We've determined the complaint was unfounded," Carol said. "However, Danny, this is now part of your work record. If anything like this happens again, even if it's not your fault, it's going to look bad." I understand. My boss pulled me aside after the final HR meeting. His name was Stuart, and he'd always been supportive. But even he looked concerned. "Danny, I believe you. But you've got to handle your family situation. I can't have this kind of drama affecting the workplace. I'm trying. Try harder. Because next time, I might not be able to protect you." I walked back to my desk feeling like I'd been beaten. My coworkers had heard about the investigation. Some were sympathetic. Others were distant, like they didn't want to be associated with me, just in case the accusations were true. Patricia walked past my desk without acknowledging me, her face set in disapproval. I'd worked with her for 3 years, and now she looked at me like I was a monster. That evening, Sarah's father, Robert, came over to our apartment with the PI's report. "We traced all the hacking incidents," Robert said, spreading papers across our coffee table. "Every single one came from this IP address." He pointed to a number. "It's registered to Jason Anderson, your brother." I stared at the report. "Finally, concrete proof. We can take this to the police," Robert said. "Sue for damages. Get a restraining order." I wanted to. I wanted to see Jason arrested. But the wedding was in 5 days. "After the wedding," I said. "I can't deal with legal proceedings right now. Let's just get through the wedding. Then I'll take action." Sarah squeezed my hand. "Are you sure?" "I'm sure. I just want to marry you without any more disasters. Then we'll deal with them." I saved all the evidence in a folder labeled Proof. It felt good to have ammunition, even if I couldn't use it yet. 3 days before the wedding, my phone rang. Mom's name flashed on the screen. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity got the better of me. "Hello?" "Danny." Her voice was soft, trembling. "Sweetheart, I need to talk to you." "What do you want, Mom?" "I want to apologize. I've been awful to you. I know that now." I said nothing. "Losing your father broke something in me," she continued. "I was angry and hurt, and I took it out on you. But you didn't deserve that. You were the best son to your father. You were there for him when the rest of us weren't. And instead of thanking you, I punished you. I'm so sorry." She was crying. It sounded real. Every instinct I had told me it was a trap, but a small part of me, the part that still remembered being her son, wanted to believe her. "Why are you calling me now?" I asked. "Because I've had time to think. Because I realize I'm about to lose you forever if I don't fix this. Please, Danny, let me come to your wedding. I don't need a special seat. I'll sit wherever you want. I just need to see my son get married. I need to be there." Sarah was across the room, watching me. She mouthed, "No, Mom, I don't know. Please, I'm begging you. Give me one more chance. Let me prove I've changed. I need to think about it. Don't think too long. The wedding is in 3 days." She hung up. I sat there holding my phone, torn in half. Sarah came over and sat next to me. "You're not seriously considering this. What if she means it?" "Danny, she doesn't. This is another manipulation." "How do you know?" "Because people don't change in 3 days. She's been cruel to you for 2 years. She got you investigated at work. She's helped Jason sabotage everything. And now, right before the wedding, she suddenly sees the light. Come on, but what if I'm wrong? What if she really does want to fix things, and I shut her out? Then that's on her, not you. You gave her 2 years of chances. You tried everything. She's the one who closed every door. If she's genuine now, she can prove it after the wedding by actually changing her behavior long term. But letting her into the wedding when she's given you every reason not to trust her? That's just asking for disaster. We argued back and forth. I felt like I was being torn apart. Part of me wanted to believe Mom was sincere. Part of me knew Sarah was right. I called Tom. "What should I do?" I asked. Tom was quiet for a long moment. "Your dad told me something right before he died. We were sitting in his room at the hospice. You'd just left to go get coffee. He said, 'Tom, take care of Danny. His mother is never going to forgive him for being loved by me. She needs to be the center of everything, and Danny getting that inheritance is going to enrage her. She's going to try to destroy him. Don't let her.'" My throat tightened. He said that, word for word. He knew your mother, Danny. He knew she'd do exactly what she's done. He was trying to protect you even after he was gone. Don't let her into that wedding. She's not sorry. She just wants another opportunity to hurt you. That conversation made my decision. I didn't call Mom back. 2 days before the wedding, the retaliation came. Mom called the hotel venue, pretending to be Sarah's mother. "This is Christine Harper," she'd said, using Sarah's mother's name. "There's been a death in the family. We need to postpone the wedding." The hotel called me in a panic. "Mr. Anderson, we're so sorry to hear about your loss. When would you like to reschedule?" "What loss? What are you talking about?" "The bride's mother called about a death in the family. That wasn't her. That was someone impersonating her. The wedding is still on." After that, I called every vendor. The hotel, the caterer, the photographer, the DJ, the florist. I told each of them the same thing. Only Sarah or I can make changes. If anyone else calls, even if they claim to be family, ignore them. Verify everything with me directly. One day before the wedding, I was getting ready for the rehearsal dinner when my building manager called. "Mr. Anderson, there are 3 people in the lobby saying they're your family. They're insisting they need to speak with you about tomorrow. Should I let them up?" "No. Tell them to leave. They're refusing. Then call the police." I could hear Mom's voice in the background. "Danny, we just want to talk. We just want to fix this before tomorrow. Please." Other residents were complaining about the noise. The building manager was threatening to call the cops. Finally, they left. But as they were walking out, Amanda shouted loud enough for everyone in the lobby to hear, "We'll see you tomorrow, whether you like it or not." That night, Sarah and I were supposed to be apart. Tradition. The groom doesn't see the bride the night before the wedding. But I was too anxious to be alone. We bent tradition and stayed on the phone for 3 hours, talking about everything and nothing, trying to calm our nerves. At 2 in the morning, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "You really should have invited us, Danny. Tomorrow's going to be a day you'll never forget." I stared at those words in the darkness of my bedroom. What were they planning? Would they try to crash the wedding? Would they cause a scene outside? Would they sabotage something else? I didn't sleep that night, not even for a minute. I lay in bed watching the ceiling, running through every possible scenario, every disaster that could unfold. At 6 in the morning, I gave up on sleep and got in the shower. Today was my wedding day. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. Instead, I felt like I was heading into battle. My best man Marcus showed up at my apartment at 8 in the morning. He found me sitting on the couch in my bathrobe, staring at nothing. "You look terrible," he said. "I didn't sleep." "Nerves?" "My family. I think they're going to crash the wedding." Marcus sat down next to me. "If they show up, we'll handle it. That's why you have a best man. Today is your day, Danny. Don't let them take it from you." We went through the motions of getting ready. Marcus made sure I ate breakfast, even though I had no appetite. He helped me with my tie when my hands shook too much to do it myself. He told stupid jokes to try to make me laugh. The ceremony was scheduled for 3 in the afternoon at the hotel. We arrived at 1 to oversee the final setup. The ballroom looked beautiful, despite it not being the barn Sarah had wanted. White chairs in neat rows, an arch decorated with flowers at the front. Everything looked perfect. Sarah's family started arriving. Her parents, her siblings, her aunts and uncles. They were warm and welcoming, hugging me, telling me how happy they were. For a brief moment, I let myself relax. Maybe my family wouldn't show up. Maybe the threatening text was just one last attempt to scare me. At 2:30, 30 minutes before the ceremony was supposed to start, Marcus burst into the groom's preparation room. His face was pale. "Danny, we have a problem. Your mother is here." My stomach dropped. "What?" "She's here. With Jason, Amanda, and about 8 other people." They walked right in and sat down in the ceremony space. I felt like I'd been punched. Did hotel security stop them? They tried. "Your mom caused a huge scene, crying and saying, 'How can you throw a mother out of her son's wedding?'" Other guests were watching. Security backed down. I rushed out of the room and into the hallway where I could see into the ceremony space. There she was, Mom, wearing a white dress. White, the same color as the bride. It was a massive breach of etiquette, a way of stealing attention, of making the day about her. She was sitting in the front row, where Sarah's parents were supposed to sit. Jason was next to her, wearing a smirk. Amanda was recording everything on her phone. Around them sat cousins, aunts, uncles I hadn't invited. 11 people total, all uninvited, all sitting there like they belonged. I walked into the ceremony space. Mom saw me and rushed over. "Oh, Danny, you look so handsome." She threw her arms around me like this was normal, like she'd been invited. "I'm so glad we could work this out." I pulled away. "Mom, you need to leave. You're not invited," she said loudly, making sure other guests could hear. "Don't be silly, sweetie. Where else would I be but at my baby's wedding?" Other guests were watching, confused. Some of them didn't know the backstory. To them, I looked like a groom refusing to let his mother attend his wedding. Mom was playing the victim perfectly. Jason called from his seat. "Just let us stay, bro. We're family." Amanda's phone was still up, recording everything. "You all need to leave," I said quietly. "Now." Mom's eyes filled with tears. "You're really going to throw your own mother out on your wedding day?" I felt trapped. If I had security remove them, it would cause a massive scene. Sarah would walk down the aisle to chaos. But if I let them stay, they'd win. They'd force their way in. Marcus pulled me aside. "What do you want to do?" "I don't know. Either choice ruins everything." "Then pick the choice that gets Sarah down that aisle without a scene." I made a decision. Tell security to let them stay for the ceremony, but under no circumstances do they get into the reception. Station security at the reception entrance with the guest list. Their names aren't on it. Marcus nodded and went to make arrangements. I went back to the preparation room, feeling defeated. They'd won this round. At 3:15, the ceremony began. I stood at the altar with Marcus beside me. The music started. Bridesmaids walked down the aisle. Then Sarah appeared at the entrance. She looked absolutely beautiful. Her dress was perfect. Her hair was perfect. Everything about her was perfect. Then she started walking down the aisle, and I saw her face change. She'd spotted Mom in the white dress, front row, exactly where Sarah's parents should have been sitting. Sarah's steps faltered. Her eyes met mine, and I saw the hurt there. But she kept walking. She reached me, took my hands, and whispered, "I saw her. I'm so sorry. We'll deal with it later. Let's just get married." The officiant began. We said our vows. It should have been the most beautiful moment of our lives. But Mom cried loudly throughout, drawing attention to herself. She dabbed at her eyes with a tissue, making sure everyone saw her tears. Jason whispered something to Amanda in the middle of the ceremony. Multiple guests turned to shush him. Amanda's phone stayed up, recording. When the officiant said, "You may kiss the bride," and I kissed Sarah, I heard Mom sob dramatically. We walked back down the aisle as husband and wife. It should have felt triumphant. Instead, it felt tainted. The photographer wanted to take family photos. "Should we include the groom's family?" she asked quietly. "No," I said. Mom overheard. "What? Danny? We have to take family photos. I'm your mother. You weren't invited. You're not being in the photos." She broke down right there in front of all the guests. Loud, wailing sobs. "My own son won't let me in a single photo. How can you be so cruel?" Guests were staring, whispering. Sarah's parents looked furious but were trying to keep composure. Sarah was blinking back tears. We took photos without them. Every moment felt ruined. Then came the reception. The ballroom doors opened. Guests began filing in. Hotel security stood at the entrance with the guest list I'd provided. Mom's group tried to enter. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but you're not on the list," the security guard said. "I'm the groom's mother. You can't keep me out." "Ma'am, I have my instructions. Please leave the premises." "No, I'm not leaving. I have a right to be at my son's reception." She sat down right there in the hallway. Jason, Amanda, and the others joined her. They sat in a line, blocking part of the hallway. Then they started chanting. Actually chanting. "Let the family in. Let the family in." The sound carried into the reception. Guests could hear it. Some got up to see what was happening. The reception should have been starting. But instead, half the guests were in the hallway watching my mother and siblings stage a protest. I left my own reception to confront them. "This is not your day," I shouted. "This is mine and Sarah's day. You have done everything possible to destroy it." Mom looked up at me with red eyes. "We just want to celebrate with you. Why are you being so hateful? You hacked my accounts. You got me investigated at work. You canceled my venue. You've terrorized me for 2 years. Jason stood up. "That's a lie. You're paranoid. We've done nothing but try to be part of your life." "I have proof." I pulled out my phone, showing him the PI's report. "The hacking was traced to your IP address. Your home." Jason's smirk faltered for just a second. Then Amanda jumped in. "You had us investigated? What kind of monster are you? See? This proves what we've been saying all along." He's unhinged. Hotel management approached. "Mr. Anderson, we've called the police. This disruption can't continue." Police. At my wedding, I wanted to disappear. When the police arrived, more guests came out to watch. It was a spectacle. My wedding had become a spectacle. The officers asked Mom's group to leave. Mom played the victim beautifully. "Officers, my son is having some kind of breakdown. He's not thinking clearly. He needs help, not a wedding. He's been making terrible decisions." She was trying to make me look mentally unstable, in front of the police, in front of my guests. I had to explain the entire situation to the officers. 2 years of exclusion, the inheritance, the harassment, the sabotage. At my own wedding, I was explaining my family trauma to police officers. Finally, the police escorted Mom's group off the property. It took 30 minutes. 30 minutes of my reception, gone. I walked back into the ballroom. Sarah was sitting at our table, alone, crying. The DJ had tried to keep things going. but the energy was dead. Half the guests had left, uncomfortable with the drama. Those who remained looked at me with pity. "I just want to go home," Sarah whispered. We cut the cake quickly. I gave a brief, choked-up thank you speech. We left our own reception an hour and a half early. Our wedding night was supposed to be at a beautiful hotel suite. Instead, we sat on the bed fully clothed, still in our wedding attire, and cried. At midnight, my phone buzzed. A text from Mom. "I hope you're happy. You humiliated your own mother in front of everyone. You had me dragged out by police. You're dead to me. Don't ever contact me again." The irony was staggering. She'd spent 2 years telling me I wasn't welcome, and now she was cutting me off as if I'd done something wrong. I showed Sarah the text. She read it and said, "She still doesn't get it. She still thinks she's the victim. I've lost them forever. You lost them 2 years ago. Today just made it official." We fell asleep in our wedding clothes, exhausted and heartbroken. The happiest day of our lives had become one of the worst. We woke up the next morning in our hotel suite. Sarah's makeup was smudged, her hair tangled from sleeping in it. My tuxedo was wrinkled. We looked at each other and started crying all over again. "I'm so sorry," I said for the 100th time. "It's not your fault," Sarah said for the 100th time. We should have been on a plane to Hawaii. We'd planned a week-long honeymoon, but with all the money we'd spent fixing sabotage, we'd postponed the trip. Now we were stuck in a hotel room with nothing to do but relive the disaster of yesterday. Sarah reached for her phone. "Don't," I said, but it was too late. Her face went white. "Oh no. Danny, no." She turned her phone toward me. Amanda had posted a video. The title made my stomach turn. My brother had our grieving mother arrested at his wedding. I grabbed my own phone and opened Facebook. The video was everywhere. Already 20,000 shares. The view count was climbing as I watched. I pressed play. The video was 15 minutes long and carefully edited. It showed Mom in her white dress, tears streaming down her face. It showed security confronting her. It showed me yelling at her in the hallway. It showed police escorting her out while she sobbed. But it didn't show the 2 years of exclusion. It didn't show the sabotage. It didn't show any context. Amanda's voiceover narration was devastating. "My brother Danny has been abusing our family for 2 years. He manipulated our dying father into giving him the inheritance that should have been split among all of us. Now he's trying to erase us from his life completely. Our mother just wanted to witness her son getting married. She just wanted to be there. And he had her arrested. He called the police on his own mother at his wedding. Please share this so people know what kind of person he really is." The comments were brutal. Thousands of them. What kind of monster treats his own mother like this? He deserves to be alone. I hope his wife leaves him when she realizes who she married. Someone should fire this guy. Elder abuse. Plain and simple. The way he's yelling at that poor woman is disgusting. I scrolled through comment after comment, each one like a knife. Some people tried to defend me, asking for context, but they were drowned out. Then I saw that Jason had posted too, a GoFundMe, "Help my mother recover from wedding trauma." The description read, "My mother is a 62-year-old widow still grieving the loss of her husband. Yesterday, her son had her forcibly removed from his wedding and arrested. She is devastated and needs therapy to recover from this traumatic event. Please help." The GoFundMe had already raised $3,000. "This can't be happening," I said, but it was getting worse. Local news outlets had picked up the story. A headline from a Seattle news blog: "Groom has mother arrested at wedding. Family drama or elder abuse." The article included my full name, Danny Anderson, software engineer at Tech Vision Solutions. My employer was named. My LinkedIn profile was being bombarded with messages. "You should be ashamed of yourself. Abuser. I would never work with someone like you." Tech Vision Solutions social media accounts were being tagged. "This is one of your employees. Do you support elder abuse? Fire Danny Anderson." I tried to respond. I filmed my own video, trying to explain. I was emotional, exhausted, barely coherent. I explained the 2 years of exclusion, the harassment, the sabotage, but without showing proof, without receipts. I just sounded defensive. The comments on my video were even worse. Excuses. Excuses. Just admit you're a bad person. Your mom is wearing white because she's mourning the son she lost. You can't even take responsibility. Sarah begged me to delete the video. You're making it worse. You sound desperate. I deleted it. But screenshots were everywhere. On Monday morning, my boss, Stuart, called. Danny, I'm sorry, but this has gotten completely out of hand. Our clients are asking about you. It's affecting the company's reputation. Stuart, none of it is true. My family is lying. I believe you. But perception matters. I'm putting you on 2 weeks unpaid leave while this blows over. Keep your head down. Stay off social media. Let it die down. Am I being fired? Not yet. But Danny, if this doesn't calm down, I can't protect you. Sarah was having her own crisis. She was a 3rd-grade teacher at Meadowbrook Elementary. Parents had seen the video. On Tuesday, the school started receiving calls. Is Miss Harper married to that man who abused his mother? I don't want my child being taught by someone associated with an abuser. Sarah's principal, a normally supportive woman named Linda, pulled her aside. Sarah, I believe you. But this is becoming a distraction. Parents are calling. Some are threatening to pull their children from your class. Sarah came home that day and collapsed on the couch. I can't do this. I can't live like this. I know. I'm so sorry. We need to do something, Danny. We need to end this. I don't know how. They've won. They've destroyed my reputation. Everyone thinks I'm a monster. My friends started distancing themselves. Marcus called to check on me, but even he sounded uncertain. Man, I know there's more to the story, but that video looks really bad. Another friend, someone I'd known since college, sent a text. Hey, I saw the video. There's probably more going on, but I can't be associated with this right now. Sorry. Sarah's friends were more supportive, but even they seemed uncomfortable. We were being isolated, cut off. Exactly what my family wanted. Then the legal threat came back. Mom's lawyer sent another letter. This time, they were suing for defamation because of my deleted video where I'd claimed they sabotaged me, and for emotional distress for the wedding incident. They were demanding $50,000. $50,000. I didn't have $50,000. I'd spent my savings on the wedding and on fixing their sabotage. I sat in my apartment, alone while Sarah was at work, and thought about giving up. Maybe I should just pay them whatever they wanted. Apologize publicly. Beg for forgiveness. Maybe that was the only way to make this stop. I picked up my phone. I pulled up Mom's number. My finger hovered over the call button. Before I could press it, my phone rang. Tom, my father's best friend. Danny, I've been following what's happening. Don't you dare give in to them. Tom, I don't have a choice. They're destroying my life. Your father left you something else besides the money. He left me a letter to give you, if your mother ever came after you. He predicted this. He knew she'd try to ruin you. I was waiting for the right time to give it to you. That time is now. Can I come over? What kind of letter? The kind that ends this once and for all. Your dad was a smart man. He protected you even after death. I'm coming over. Tom arrived an hour later with a sealed envelope. On the front, in my father's handwriting, for Danny, open if Patricia becomes vindictive. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside was a letter dated 1 week before Dad died. I read it, and my world shifted. The letter was in my father's neat handwriting, slightly shaky from illness, but still legible. Dear Danny, if you're reading this, it means your mother has done exactly what I feared she would do. She's turned your siblings against you and tried to destroy you for receiving the inheritance I left you. I need you to know why I made that decision, and I need to give you the tools to protect yourself. During my final illness, I discovered your mother was having an affair. The man's name is Craig Bennett, one of Jason's business partners. I found emails between them. I found hotel receipts. I found evidence of money being transferred from our joint account to a secret account in her name. She was planning to divorce me after I died and take everything. She was waiting for me to die so she could start her new life with Craig. I didn't confront her because I was too weak, too tired, and too heartbroken. But I changed my will to protect you. You were the only one who loved me unconditionally. You were the only one who was there. I'm leaving you evidence of everything. It's in Safety Deposit Box 743 at First National Bank downtown. The key is in this envelope. If your mother ever comes after you, use this information to make her stop. I didn't want to expose her while I was alive, but I won't let her destroy you after I'm gone. I love you, son. You were the best part of my life. Dad. The key fell out of the envelope into my lap. I sat there, unable to move, unable to breathe. Tom was watching me. Did you read it? He knew. He knew she was cheating. He told me before he died. Made me promise to give you this if she ever came after you. He knew she would. I need to see the evidence. Tom and I went to the bank that afternoon. The safety deposit box was small but packed. Inside was a manila folder containing printouts of emails between Mom and Craig. The emails were explicit, both sexually and in terms of their plans. I can't wait until this is over. Once he's gone, we can finally be together. I'll have the house, the savings, everything. That was from Mom. Dated 3 weeks before Dad died. There were photos of Mom and Craig together at hotels. There were bank statements showing transfers of money. There was a timeline Dad had compiled, documenting every suspicious behavior. At the very back was a letter Dad had written to Mom, but never sent, confronting her about the affair. I sat in the bank's private viewing room, reading through everything, feeling sick. Your dad loved her, Tom said quietly. Even knowing all this, he loved her. But he loved you more. He wanted to make sure you could defend yourself. I thought about using this information. It felt wrong. It felt like stooping to their level. But they'd spent 2 years destroying me. They'd ruined my wedding. They'd gotten me investigated at work. They'd turned the entire internet against me. They'd filed a lawsuit demanding $50,000 I didn't have. Sarah's words echoed, "We need to end this." I made copies of everything. I put the originals back in the safety deposit box. Tom and I drove back to my apartment. "What are you going to do?" Tom asked. "I'm going to make one phone call. I'm going to give her a choice." That evening, with Sarah beside me for support, I called Mom. My hands were steady. My voice was calm. She answered on the 3rd ring. "What do you want, Danny? Come to apologize finally?" "No, Mom. I want you to drop the lawsuit, delete Amanda's video, and leave me alone forever. And you're going to do it." She laughed. "Why on earth would I do that? You've shown everyone what you really are. I'm going to take you for every penny you have. Because Dad left me something else besides the inheritance. He left me evidence of your affair with Craig." Silence. Long, heavy silence. When she spoke again, her voice was different. Small. "What are you talking about?" "I have emails, photos, financial records, a letter from Dad detailing everything. He knew, Mom. He knew you were cheating on him while he was dying. He knew you were planning to divorce him after he died to take everything. That's why he left me the money, to protect me from you." "You're lying. I'm looking at the emails right now. Want me to read one?" "Craig, I can't wait until this is over. Once he's gone, we can finally be together. I'll have the house, the savings, everything. That's from you." Dated October 14th. 3 weeks before Dad died. More silence. I could hear her breathing. "Where did you get those?" "Dad gave them to Tom to give to me, if you ever came after me. He knew you would. He protected me even from the grave." "Danny, you can't." Her voice was shaking. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to call your lawyer right now and drop the lawsuit. You're going to tell Amanda to delete that video from every platform. You're going to post a public statement saying there was a misunderstanding and asking people to stop harassing me. And then you're going to leave me and Sarah alone for the rest of our lives. And if I don't, then I send everything to everyone. Jason, Amanda, all the extended family who think I'm the monster, your church group, your friends, everyone who donated to your GoFundMe. I'll post them online. Everyone will know that while Dad was dying, you were planning your new life with Craig. They'll know the real reason the family fell apart. I'll ruin you, the way you've tried to ruin me. Mom was crying now. How can you do this to me? I'm your mother. How could you do everything you did to me? I'm your son. I took care of Dad when no one else would, and you punished me for it. I was hurt. The inheritance made me feel like he didn't love me anymore. It was never about the money. It was about control. Dad saw through you. I finally see through you too. Danny, please, can't we work something out? What if I just drop the lawsuit? All or nothing. Lawsuit dropped, video deleted, public statement, and you leave me alone. Or I release everything. I need time. You have 2 hours. If I don't see Amanda's video taken down and a statement from you within 2 hours, I start sending emails. I hung up. Sarah looked at me with wide eyes. Do you think she'll do it? She doesn't have a choice. Her reputation means everything to her. The thought of her church friends knowing about Craig will terrify her more than anything else. We sat on the couch, watching the clock. Sarah refreshed Amanda's social media every few minutes. 1 hour passed, then 90 minutes. At 1 hour and 43 minutes, Amanda's video disappeared. Gone from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. At 1 hour and 51 minutes, Mom posted on her Facebook, I want to clarify some recent events. There has been a misunderstanding regarding my son Danny's wedding. Family matters are complicated, and I spoke out of hurt and emotion. Danny is a good person who is devoted to his father. I ask everyone to please stop directing negativity toward him. I wish him and his wife, Sarah, all the best. It wasn't an apology. It wasn't the full truth. But it was enough. Minutes later, Jason posted, Mom asked us to take down our posts about Danny. Out of respect for her, we're complying. The GoFundMe disappeared. At exactly 2 hours, I received an email from Mom's lawyer. Our client has decided not to pursue legal action against you. This matter is closed. Sarah and I sat in stunned silence for a moment. Then she started laughing. Not happy laughter. Exhausted, relieved laughter. I joined her. Over the next few days, the viral attention died down. Some people still believed I was the villain. But without the video being shared, without my family actively pushing the narrative, the story faded. My boss called on Thursday. I saw your mother's post. Glad it's resolved. Come back to work Monday. Sarah's principal told her the parent complaints had stopped. Life slowly, painfully, returned to normal. 1 week later, Mom called me one final time. Are you going to release those documents anyway? She asked. No, not unless you come after me again. They're my insurance policy. As long as you leave me alone, they stay private. Do Jason and Amanda know about Craig? No. That's up to you whether you tell them. I'm not interested in destroying your life, Mom. I just wanted you to stop destroying mine. I did love your father. At the beginning, I know, but you stopped. And somewhere along the way, you stopped loving me too. If you had loved me, you wouldn't have spent 2 years trying to ruin my life. Maybe you're right. We hung up. I knew I'd probably never speak to her again, and I was okay with that. 3 months later, Sarah and I finally took our honeymoon to Hawaii. On our last evening, we sat on the beach watching the sunset. The sky was painted in shades of orange and pink. Do you think you did the right thing? Sarah asked. With the evidence? Yes. I gave her a choice. She could have left me alone at any point in the past 2 years. She chose to escalate every single time. I just made sure I had the final escalation. Do you think you'll ever have a relationship with them again? No. And I've learned that's okay. Family isn't just about blood. It's about who shows up for you, who supports you, who loves you, even when it's hard. You're my family. Tom is more family to me than my own brother. Dad understood that in the end. Sarah took my hand. I'm proud of you. For protecting yourself. For fighting back. We walked back to our hotel as the sun disappeared below the horizon. That night, we renewed our vows on the beach. Just the two of us. No guests, no drama, no sabotage. We exchanged simple promises to protect each other, to choose each other, to build our own family. I thought about Dad. I wished he could have been there, could have seen me happy, but I felt him there somehow, in the warm breeze, in the sound of the waves. I thought about Mom, Jason, Amanda, and I felt nothing. Not anger, not grief, just emptiness. And that's how I knew I was free. I learned something important through all of this. Setting boundaries doesn't make you cruel. It makes you sane. Sometimes the people who are supposed to love you most are the ones who hurt you the most, and you can't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. My father gave me 2 gifts. The first was that inheritance, not because of the money itself, but because it showed me he saw me. He valued me. He knew I was the one who was there. The second gift was that envelope. It wasn't just evidence. It was permission. Permission to protect myself. Permission to fight back. Permission to say enough. I spent 2 years trying to earn back their love. But you can't earn something that was never freely given. My mother didn't love me conditionally. She didn't love me at all. She loved control. She loved being the victim. She loved punishing me for daring to be seen by my father when she wasn't. The one call I made, the call where I told her I had the evidence, that wasn't revenge. It was liberation. I wasn't destroying her. I was finally refusing to let her destroy me. Sometimes the family you're born into isn't the family you're meant to keep. And sometimes the greatest act of love is walking away from people who refuse to love you back. I was told over and over I wasn't welcome at any family event. So when I got married, I didn't invite them. They lost it, demanding to fix things. But I made one call that ended it all. And now? Now I'm finally free. And I'm finally happy. If you've been through something similar, if you've struggled with family members who seem determined to hurt you, I want you to know something. It's okay to protect yourself. It's okay to walk away. You deserve people in your life who celebrate you, not people who punish you for being loved. So here's my question for all of you. Have you ever had to cut off family members to protect your own peace? How did you handle it? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. And if this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to hear more stories like this. Share this with anyone who might need to hear that it's okay to choose yourself. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope wherever you are, whatever you're going through, you find your own freedom. Take care of yourselves.